Good evening, my esteemed watchers, and welcome to another episode of Poison Points, the interview podcast where I bring on content creators of all shapes and sizes and learn a little bit more about them. I'm your host, Irisu, and today we have a very special guest in the form of Creepsheaux.
Hello. How we doing?
I'm doing absolutely wonderfully, Creepshow, and thank you for taking this opportunity to join me here today.
Oh, no problem. I am more than happy to. I'll be very transparent with you. This is sort of a dream come true, honestly. Ever since I found out that Poison Points was a thing and I saw people that I really look up to were doing this, and then you and I ended up becoming friends, and I was like, one day, and here we are.
Yep, I am so painfully slow at editing these and getting them online because it takes a lot of time, so I apologize if it's not been super consistent, or at least to that point. But here we are, finally recording an episode of Poison Points.
The big return, I already said return. Insert another word that's not return. But no, trust me, like it editing just takes time. The lovely people here are going to figure that out real quick. Listen, just let it happen. It's good.
Oh yes, yeah. And I've made this joke several times because I upload on Spotify and on YouTube. On Spotify,
Ooh.
I've always said, yeah, they can't see anything. It's impossible. It's only a podcast. There's no video." And I learned very quickly after the first two, yes, there is definitely a video feed that can be uploaded. And it is so silly listening to those back because, oh yeah, they can't see this, and you just look at your phone and there it is. So I apologize to the Spotify viewers out there. I don't think you're dumb. In fact, I am the dumb one. So
Goodness. I wait, is it the video like if you listen to certain songs on Spotify, you get like the little on your phone specifically, like you get the little music video preview or whatever it is?
it is actually factually like whatever you recorded in. If it was 1080 by or a 1080p, it will upload in 1080p, and you can watch the entire thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do it, which is what was throwing me off. I was like, oh, it'll just cut the video out, and I won't have to worry about it. But alas, it is real, so here we are.
It is now a thing. The more you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, Creepshow, before we get started, would you be willing to tell us what you do as a streamer and what's your deal?
So what do I do as a streamer? Well, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I do just about anything. When I first initially started, I wanted to, and this is like going way back to before I was doing VTubing. Um, I initially started out on Mixer, and I just wanted to be like a FPS streamer. Like I wanted to play a whole bunch of TF2, a little bit of COD back then, a little bit of Fortnite, stuff like that. But I always wanted to branch out and do more. And as time went on, I found the means to like do more and be more comfortable doing more because my initial audience was just it was just people that wanted to watch FPS games, which I'm more than happy to do, but like there's other stuff I would like to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I find myself now is we just kind of do whatever we want here. Like if people want to watch me play a game from 20 years ago, great. You want me to play the new Fortnite Battle Pass? Great. I am more than happy to do it.
Hell yeah. Oh, 07 to Mixer, by the way. Real ones.
Miss them. I miss that platform every single day. I was talking with one of my good friends, by the way, shout out to Boko. We were just talking about like what we were doing pre VTuber times. I was talking about Mixer. And so I just searched my old username and Mixer into the Twitter search handle, and I found all my old like hey I'm going live posts on Mixer, and I'm like, "Oh god, I would never post such cringe today." I think that's how you've grown in a way where you can look back at what you've made and just in a way go, this is awesome. This is where like your starting point was, but also go, God, this is horrible.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that that is like a. It is, of course, an evolution on your part, but back
Mhm.
then, that was like the norm. That's what people
Yeah.
did. It wasn't just a like a creative message, an image, and then the link and the replies. It was just straight
Yeah.
up, "Hey, I'm live," and then that's it. That's the link, and you're good to go.
It's better than what I see sometimes where like it's just the link. That's it. No context, no nothing, just link.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, no.
Listen, you got to get a little bit of creativity going, put a little bit of love into every little post, even if it doesn't seem like it. You're sure to catch somebody's eye.
Of course.
So, with that being said, before we get into any other questions, I have a question from our last interviewee, which was Ringtail. And
Ooh.
Ringtail asked, if you play VR chat, this is very specific. He told me to he told me to ask this way no matter what. Are you a tomboy because you play VRC?
Are you a tomboy because you play VRC?
Listen, this interview was like a month ago. I forgot, and I haven't even looked at this question yet.
I was gonna ask you for context. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Nope. I asked for context. He said, "No, I'm sending this as is."
No context. Okay. No, I'm gonna go with no. VR chat scares me, and yet I want to play it.
Real. I played it for the first time the other week for Too Much Sasha's birthday party. It was scary. I was like, oh my god, I'm still a wallflower, even in a digital space.
Just walk around VR chat and going, I don't belong here. None of these acts are in the Bible.
I have a little like fruit punch from the bar, and I'm just still sitting there like fake RP drinking it. And I'm like, hey, what's up, everybody? Oh, hi, Sasha. Oh, okay.
Do you audibly just okay? So like, if you're RP drinking it, do you audibly go glug 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 glug? Do you do that?
I don't go that far in the RP. I like to let everybody's imaginations go wild, and
Okay.
they can fill in the gaps.
Fair, honestly.
I know people who do go that far, but if I was to RP something, I like to be the subtle, like, yeah, this should be implied at the very least.
Yeah. No,
All
that's
right.
valid.
So the answer to the question is no. Playing VRC does not make you a tomboy. Oh my fucking god. Thank you, Ringtail. I will remember to harass you about this later. So,
Thank you.
on to some more detailed questions. For you, Creepshow, what was the turning point for you to become a content creator? And not even just a VTuber, just being a content creator.
Oh God. I I was kind of flirting with the idea of it about late 2019, like around October. I was just kind of flirting around with it. And I didn't really start doing it until like December of that year. I got into content creation because it was a way to bond with my partner at the time who was doing content creation herself. And I wanted to be a part of that world as well. And I always had like ideas and I want to say aspirations. Yeah, sure, we'll go with aspirations. I had aspirations of doing stuff like that, like whether it be voiceover work or whether it be a let's player like it's 2011 all over again. And I always thought that would have been a very cool hobby or just some kind of avenue to go down. And I never really pulled the trigger on it until like 2019. And I really have no regrets. The only regret I've said this multiple times. I have zero regrets when it comes to doing content creation. The only regret I have is that I didn't start VTubing sooner. That is the only regret I have.
Okay. Why is that?
So when I first started out, it was a lot of like face cam, and I felt like a lot of my expressions and how I reacted on camera would be like what drew me in. not what drew me in, what drew other people in. And that wasn't really me. I'm more I'm very relaxed and very chill when the camera is not on me. And VTubing in a sense took that camera away and allowed me to just be myself but still show a character that like I love and I put a lot of work into. It gave me the avenue to like be myself and not be this over exaggerated version of myself that's not me.
Hmm. Okay. So if you had the opportunity to go back in time and just tell yourself like, "Hey, just do this instead. It'll save you some hassle and be a little bit easier." You would do it?
Oh, absolutely, in a heartbeat.
Okay. Okay. I understand that because I also used to be not really like a face cam streamer, but I used to be a
Mhm.
face cam YouTuber, and I would play these horror games as part of the Let's Play series, trying to also bring it back to 2011, 2012. And the one thing I noticed was I just didn't react. I would get scared and I'd freeze. That's all I'd do. I didn't make any faces. I would just be like, I'd stop talking, draw a sharp breath, and that was it.
You'd get 5 of the 8 Slenderman pages, and all of a sudden Slenderman pops up, and you go, okay.
Yeah, there he is. That's him.
Is that the bite of 87?
But I also didn't have that, like, the facial expressions, and I felt uncomfortable doing it after a certain amount of
Yeah,
time. And I didn't have good lighting. It just didn't work. So I decided to be a faceless streamer. Even that it was way better overall.
oh, absolutely.
Now there's not a lot of excuses. You know, you gotta either be. No, I'm kidding. You don't gotta be a VTuber or not. Anybody can make any content that they want, and it'll be perfect just for them.
Of course,
No,
there's not a there's not a right and a wrong way to go about how to like show yourself in terms of streaming. Just go with it, like just do this with the mindset of doing this for fun and to also be comfortable as you, because you're not going to enjoy it if you're being an exaggerated version of yourself.
oh yes, yeah. Let it be a way to expend more energy than you're allowed to. And I think
Yeah.
that that's all you really need in order to succeed. There shouldn't be this thought of like mental preparation before a stream or before a video to like psych yourself into that mentality, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh wow, I'm really tired now.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to like NFL pregame scream at the mirror, going, let's go," like get all ready to go for a stream, and then sit down and go, I'm done after about an hour. No, thank you.
Hmm. But in my experience, it's usually I psych myself up, and then the first chatter comes in. I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm playing HBO
you,
game time."
you don't look at the camera and you don't like clap at the camera and go, "What's up, man? Hope you had a wonderful time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
Follow and like.
Ring the bell."
No, I do that in the intros where I take like 30 to 50 takes, and then that's all I need. That's the best I got. That's all you're getting. So
I feel like when I start my channel, I'm gonna do it really exaggerated, and then there's gonna be a cut of me just going, "God, I hate this."
yes. Listen, realistic irony like that is awesome. I love seeing that stuff.
Perfect.
So, from the point that you decided to do VTubing, why did you think it was right for you? We've established that, you know, as far as your expressions, the second that the camera went off, you felt a lot better and more comfortable. But why VTubing?
Uh, I always thought it would be like an idea, and I always thought it'd be like a fun idea to express myself in an OC that I have, or express myself as being like some kind of animal, kind in a way role playing.
Hmm.
But also, I cannot keep myself up in a character for long. I tried it very early on in VTubing. I tried very early on, like maintaining a character and on stream being like, oh, I'm always in character. I can't do it. My very first V2 model was literally just a picture of me in a mask sitting on a desk sitting at a desk with an Xbox controller and Terrence and Philip South Park Funko Pops on it. That was my PNG. That was my V2 model going at it. And I thought, oh, I could have this persona of like, oh, I'm the mystic cult leader. I kept that up for like maybe 2 weeks. But but it made me feel better and have more fun with what I was doing, because right before VTubing, I started streaming with a mask on, and I would put on face paint around the eyes, and I would put on a custom mask that I made. And I used to make custom masks all the time. And I would stream with a mask on and a little voice changer, just trying to find something to enjoy my time streaming. And VTubing was that avenue ultimately to find myself enjoying what I was doing.
Okay. And from that moment, so the 2 week period, was it after that that you decided to go into the doll design?
Uh, I I didn't go into the doll design until about a year later.
Okay.
I have two different variations of my very first model where it was male presenting, and then later on it was female presenting. And it was always just me and a mask that I really, really enjoyed. And I didn't go with the doll until about a year later. And how the doll came about was she was an adoptable. And I wanted to custom make the adoptable to fit more of like my image and what I wanted to do. So my friend Alex and we worked together on redesigning the doll and making sure everything was perfect for debuting. And it turned out perfectly.
Yeah, I remember I met you with that design, super iconic, and I loved it. With the combination of that and your name, I was like,
Hmm.
wow, this is super solid branding.
You're
And
like set.
but then, a little bit later, you mentioned that you wanted to rebrand, or that you actually already had plans of rebranding into the next step. And I was always excited to see, is it going to be different? And the inclusion of the doll in your new design, that you are the one controlling this doll, and you're like some form of puppet master, which we'll get to. I'll ask those questions. Was like another like perfect step. It just worked. And I think overall the most consistent branding I've ever seen from a guest on my show, that just works and weaves into itself.
That Oh my god, my heart just swelled with joy because I have been flying by the seat of my pants in terms of lore.
Hey, listen, sometimes the things that you put together literally the last minute are some of the best things that you'll create in your entire life. So,
It's like the scene in a cartoon where like it's a science fair and all these people have like these grand, amazing science projects, and then there's me trying to build the Statue of Liberty with chewed gum and straws.
and it wins the award.
It somehow wins.
Yes, I absolutely love your design, and I will be putting up your old doll design on the screen as well, just so everybody has an idea of where you've come from until now. I'll leave it up
Okay.
to you if you want the very first masks design and stuff, but
You can have them perfect.
perfect. Yeah, remind me to send. Wait, no, remind me to remind you. All right, next question.
Perfect. I got
So
you.
about your design, we had the doll, and I as I've already stated, the doll fit perfectly with your presentation. When did you decide to take the next step into this design?
Literally 8 months after my debut of the doll. Like 8 months after, I thought, okay, this is the perfect time to. It's a perfect time to take the next step forward in terms of story and wanting to branch out even further. What I wanted to do is I wanted to expand the story, and I also wanted to try out multiple different characters, because the initial idea of Creepshow was that it was gonna kind of be like oh goodness. It was gonna kind of be like oh lord, why is that show blanking for me? Da, da, da. It was gonna kind of be like Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, where you have one standard host who will always be there, and then you'll have like a rotation of like different shows ran by like different monsters and everything. And I still do. I have this different roster idea of like multiple variations of different classic horror movie trope characters, which were all going to be in a way representations of parts of my personality.
Okay. And so you have that idea still. You're going to still try it out, but
Oh yeah.
this design now. So
Yes.
now it is you are the Elvira. Like this is going to be you, and it's going to be you puppeteering or working with these other creatures to create your show segments.
Of course.
Awesome. I love it. Oh no,
it's
go ahead,
so
go ahead.
good. I've worked on oh god, I've worked on like an old timey like humanoid pinball machine from the 80s. I've thought of various different werewolf type characters and an alien. So like there's plenty.
Yes, and as someone also who likes to rotate through characters and try out new things, I'm no stranger to how fun it is. So, although
Oh, you know
sometimes,
very well.
yeah, it gets overwhelming. But I know that with you, because you have that consistent theme, I can just imagine you executing it in a flawless way.
Well, thank you. That really warms my heart. Thank you.
Of course. So, with that being said, I always like to ask this question because everybody comes from all different walks of life when it comes to VTubing and being a content creator. What do you think helps push a creator forward?
Oh goodness. I think a consistent viewer base and consistent interaction with what you do. I think and it doesn't have to be like overwhelming, insane amount of support right away. Just like having that core group of people that love what you do and always are there. I think that is a huge motivating factor for content creators, because you put stuff out to be seen, but also you kind of get swept into like a side quest in a way of making friends. And oh goodness. I sorry, I'm thinking about like my little core group of friends, and it's just it's lovely. I owe them a lot, because there was a point in my early days of VTubing where things were not going well personally, and that core group of friends really helped me keep going, because was at a point where I didn't want to keep going anymore. And that consistency, that like loving friendship and viewership just helped keep going, and it just grew over time into, I don't want to say a monster, but like grew into like this huge thing where I'm like, oh god, what have I done?
The amalgamation.
Like, oh god, there's how many of you watching? Why aren't you in bed?
Yeah, that's the surprising part is like you think for you at this time of day, you're the night owl, there wouldn't be that many people there, but there's so many people who stay up all night long for whatever goddamn reason, and they're always there for you to support you.
So when circling back to Mixer again and looking back at old posts, I found a post that I put up like, hey, I'm gonna go live. I posted that I was going live at 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time. That is 1:30 Eastern. What the hell was I doing? Like,
Listen,
yeah, I'll go live in the dead of night during the dark days of COVID. Sure, why not?
they always say that the peak hours for like newer people are like after 7 p.m. So PST for me, that would be around 8 and 9 for you, and then 10 for EST, or way before anybody wakes up. So like those 4 a.m. hours, and you got yourself like, there's an audience here. No, they have nobody to watch. So hey, this is a new person. I'm gonna go watch them, and then you hook
Yeah.
them that way. Very weird and niche tactic, which I wish I had the liberty to do, but I cannot be a night owl anymore, unfortunately.
That's how I met one of my mods, and probably one of my oldest friends in content creation, was because I found him streaming Luigi's Mansion 3 at like 11 o'clock at night. And I just pop into the chat. I was like, hey, what you doing? Yeah, you enjoying the game? Cool.
Yeah,
And now we've been friends for like 4 years.
Hey, sometimes that's all it takes. Like the little tiny bit of time, it can go a long way. So,
Absolutely.
friend groups, and then just being able to keep going at it, not in a way that's like unhealthy, but realizing your goal and like manifesting that and taking a step backwards.
Yeah, like never give up if this is something you really want to do, but if you hit a point where you need to stop, it's okay to like just stop and take a breather and reevaluate what you want to do and what you're wanting to achieve out of this. It's okay to be healthy. Your audience will understand. It's not like you're going to be gone for a week and everybody's going to go, ah, fuck you, bye. Like it's all good. It's all good. I promise they understand.
Oh yeah. And this is like a harsh piece of advice. So like it's harsh, but it's the reality. Is your dedicated fans who are there for you, however many, if it's 10, even less, if you're gone for a month and then you restart streaming, they're still gonna be there for you. It will happen. And you start doing that little bits at a time and you realize where you need to be, it eventually all pay off. But make sure you take the time for yourself. I'm taking the time for myself, which is why these episodes are taking so long to come out. Anyways.
Love yourself.
Of course. And to pair with that question, if you could offer advice through what you've experienced, what should creators avoid doing?
Oh God. Avoid doing. So my usual answer is don't be a dick, but there's so much more to that.
Oh yeah.
Like just don't be a scumbag. That's it. Don't be a scumbag. Don't like self-promote yourself if you're like in the middle of a collab or anything. By the way, follow Creepsheaux on Twitch. Anyway, but like don't like self-promote in somebody's like chat or it's very minimal and it's like it falls on the line of like basic human decency in a way. Where it's just I guess be professional and just be like and you will make mistakes along the journey and that's fine, but as long as you learn from them, you're good.
Oh yeah. And always taking that opportunity to critique in the right ways.
Absolutely.
I have this rule. This is my core philosophy, and I keep this in my server for a reason. They're the three common rules: common decency, common courtesy, and common sense. If you can do all three of those things, you will be fine as a content creator. You see these people all the time being douchebags and pricks to other people, and they're like, they're garnering that following because there's like-minded people like that. It is the fast track to that kind of fame, but is that the kind of fame that you want? Do you want an audience that hates you?
Is that ultimately what you want in the end? You kind of have to ask yourself what kind of audience do you really want? What are you looking to get? What do you want your what do you want like and this is more like it's kind of in a way like how if you die, what are people going to say about you when you're gone? But it's like, what are people going to say when like Creepsheaux is done or like when any other content creator is done making content? What do you want people to say about you when you're done?
Yeah. And, we've got some great examples this month. Welcome to the month of March of things not to do. So just
March Madness, baby.
Yeah, if you ever need to like go back to a month in history where you need examples of things you shouldn't do, just look at everything that happened this month, March 2024. There you go. Just don't do those things.
Literally, it's like a 1950s how-to video guide. You just need a guy to go, here's what to do, here's what not to do.
Number one, don't be a bigot.
Don't be a bigot. You see somebody else that's completely different from you, just be cool about it.
Yeah, be yourself. That's fine. Do what you do. That's all you need to do.
Perfect. I gotta get out of that voice now. Oh boy.
Yeah, we have two roads. I mean, there's many roads, but like
Yeah.
to drive home my point, you have the road of those people that, you're a douchebag and you're a dick. So you garner those people, and those people follow you down that road and they're guiding you along. But if you hit a corner, you have to walk all the way back. You have to do so much effort to get yourself out of that space. So people either find themselves forcing their way further and being even worse, or unable to leave, and it's just awkward. I would say personally, logistically, I would rather take the road that doesn't have nearly as much fame and success at the start, but gets easier and easier to go down because you've built that support group and you have
Yeah.
that logic that saves you and can back you up, and those friends that will help you along the way. Um, that's just me.
Exactly. I would much rather like I would much rather people not like me for being the genuine person that I am than love me for something I'm not. And I can never be somebody that's like, oh, we're just gonna be a complete dick to anybody that's not like me. I can never be that person. It's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, very good lines of advice. I appreciate it, and I'm sure that anybody listening will appreciate it as well. But now we have the deeper questions, the
Oh boy.
reaching into yourself questions. If you weren't the VTuber that we see in front of us today, what would you be instead?
Oh God. So the the easiest way I can answer that is not a content creator. I don't think I'm really doing anything in content creation if I'm not where I'm at now. Um I would probably still be working retail. I'd probably still be in college, just kind of doing whatever. Um that's probably the easiest way I can answer that question.
Okay, okay. So you would take a step back because, if you weren't going to be doing this, it's not like a super big deal to find the next route into doing more content creation.
Yeah. Like if I wasn't doing VTubing right now, like I said, I'd probably just be doing like whatever the hell. I oh goodness, what would I do? I don't know. I'd probably be making music because I was in a band before I started doing content creation. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Okay, okay. And my last deep question, I don't have a lot of these. I
You're
don't want to
good.
keep it too crazy. Uh, when you come home or when you wake up and you're getting onto your computer and you're ready to stream, you're in your Discord for your communities and stuff, what does it mean to be Creepshow?
Uh it's an escape from it's an escape from reality, and it's also a means from it's a means to be with people I really enjoy. I don't really have a lot in terms of friends offline, but to have what I have here, it means so much, and it means I get to be with friends and in a sense family. And that's always a refreshing thing. It's always a refueling thing if your soul is kind of drained a little bit. Like it refuels you in a way.
Hmm. So you take solace in your friends around you and the family that you have found.
I love them to bits. I it's weird because like I get emotional over friends that I've made in this community, and I there's not enough words I can use to describe how much that they really mean to me. And like w- if I could ever find the proper way to say thank you, I would happily do it.
Well, I mean, if they're listening into this today, then they know because you've spilled your guts out on the table and they will see this.
Listen, I'm a zombie, okay? There's just gonna be body parts here and there. You're just gonna have to kind of deal with it. I'm sorry.
Well, with all that being said, you are, as you said, a zombie. But what powers do you hold?
The power of necromancy. With the ability that I have, I can touch I can touch the final resting place or the corpse of the recently deceased, and we can raise them back from the dead.
Okay. So if
Also,
you're oh, sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
no, you're good. You're good. Also, I do have the ability to bring life to things that are inanimate. Like if I can bring a, let's say, a doll. I can bring a doll to life. I can bring any inanimate object that's around me with the power of a touch. I can bring that to life if I want to.
Okay. If you had to put yourself on a scale though of your abilities, like let's say we'll use D&D for example, or maybe even like Magic the Gathering because I know you play that quite a bit.
A ton.
How strong would you say you are like a level wise?
So let's envision me as a Magic the Gathering card. I cost about a grand total of 5 mana. I am a 6/6 with trample and death touch. And I have a bunch
Okay.
of flavor text. There you go.
That's it. Triple death touch. You don't have any like ETBs. You don't have any graveyard recursion.
No, okay, no, because like I wanted to make it like somewhat fair.
Oh, I know. I
Otherwise, I'd just give myself the ability of Armageddon, and that would be it.
know.
Yeah, you see all those lands that you put on the board there? Yeah, no, they're gone. Bye bye.
And on a creature too, so you're just getting crazy advantage, and no
Oh
longer
yeah.
is it relegated to a spell or a sorcery or instant.
Oh yeah, no, it's just on a creature. Have fun.
Okay. Let's take a step back. Creepshow, the name. Where did you come up with the name of Creepshow?
I promise you, it's not going to be as grand as it sounds. So I wanted to be called, I wanted to be called Creepshow, like how it's spelled in English, Creepshow. Um, but obviously taken. And I didn't want to put VT at the end of my name. That's not really what I wanted to do. And so I kind of just kicked around the name a little bit. I almost went with Freak Show. Um, and I found that I could just spell it with Creole. And I kicked around that name for about a couple of weeks, see if I like how it sounds, how I feel about typing it constantly. And honestly, no regrets because no regrets for a couple of reasons. One, it's probably the most unique and fun way I've ever seen the name Creepshow spelled. And
Mm-hmm.
also it's fun to go into somebody that I haven't met before, go into their stream and see how the gears turn in their head trying to pronounce my name.
Shucks.
Oh God! One of my biggest VTuber inspirations. I went into their chat one time and I was just like, "Hey, love what you do," and they're like, "Oh, thank you, creep shocks," and I'm like, "No, fuck."
I having some background in French language teaching, or not teaching, but having those classes, I knew immediately what it meant, and I've never questioned if anybody would spell it wrong or say it wrong, just on like a first visual appearance.
It gives me great pride to know that a TTS bot can see my name and go, "Oh yeah, it's Creepshow." Boom, perfect.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm justified it. I promise. I swear.
I mean, to be fair, some people will see a very simple name and completely butcher it, so
Oh God,
I
yeah.
wouldn't worry too much about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, shout out to Irisu Blasen. What was that?
How? Hey, hey, Chatter. Can you tell me how I pronounce her name?
And sometimes I've even like fully phonetically typed it out and they didn't understand. And I was like, all right, it's fine. Just call me whatever. Iris is fine.
Just call me Iris. We're good. Throw the papers in here. Fuck it.
I'm done with this.
So the other name I kind of kicked around for a little bit. I kicked around. Oh God, what was it? I can't remember the full name of it, but it was like the Japanese name for not demon or oni or anything like that. But I can't remember what it was. It was like some demonic entity, and I thought this would be great. Then I went into other people's chats and they're like, "This is stupid," and I'm just like, "Oh, okay."
Okay. Bye bye.
No, okay, no more. I'm sorry.
Oh well, I am glad that despite that, you buckled up down and you got into the creep show mindset because I love your name. Um, I've always felt weird about calling you Creeps though as a nickname. Uh,
Uh-huh.
because I feel like out of context, someone would just see that and be like, "What? What does that mean? What are you calling her?" Like,
Like, why are you calling her a creep? Like, what? I
oh, you
kind
don't
of get this.
understand. She loves it.
I kind of get this. I kind of get this like vision from time to time. Like I'm meeting friends at, like a Twitch con or something, and there will be a friend down the hall who sees me and they just shout "creep," and then all hell just breaks loose. It's like no, 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 no. It's good. All's good.
That's my name. That's what I go by on Twitch.tv.
It reads so it reads it on the con badge. I swear. I went to TwitchCon in 2022, and I still have the badge on. I have the badge on a standee in my office, and it says Creepshow on it. And I remember a couple of people looking at my badge, going, "What the fuck is that?"
And it's absolutely wonderful. I've not been to a con in a long time. TwitchCon would be very scary for me because you're there live and you're posting your real name and then everybody gets to see your face. I'm
Oh
terrified of
yeah,
that personally, but I can appreciate the uh I'm losing the word, the boldness that goes into
yeah.
it. Um okay, so Creepshow, great name. However, as far as working it into you, you're a zombie necromancer. How
Yes,
are
I mean,
you a zombie? Were you revived from your own necromancy, or did somebody else revive you?
so I was, and you'll see an art that I have. I have a severed head lantern that was inspired by the late Bray Wyatt, who had a very similar severed head lantern. The severed head that I have is the person who brought me back to life. He was essentially a witch doctor who practiced necromancy, and I was the only one that I am the only experiment of his that was a complete success. Do
Okay.
not disturb my slumber.
So did you give it to him, like as far as like what happened to him, or did you just like after his death take his head and turn it into a lantern?
Oh, we took it after the fact.
Okay, okay. And you were just full of this power, this essence in order to perform necromancy.
Absolutely, absolutely. You take what you've got. You, you take what you've got and you try to use it for some level of good in a way.
Okay. So you would say that you do use your powers to help for the most part.
Because so if you take the idea of ghosts and like ghosts are still here because there's something on earth that they didn't complete in their life that they were supposed to do. Or their soul is tormented, you essentially revive them and give them back another chance before they're done.
Okay. And beyond that point, if they don't complete their tasks, do you just say like, yeah, you did your best, buddy, but it's over for you?
Yeah, you did your best. Sorry, don't know what to tell you.
One time warranty, unless I really liked you.
Just a hard shrug, like don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Is it your job at that point to help them pass on, or do you just kind of let them off to their own devices?
Oh, you just kind of let them off their own devices. It's kind of interesting to turn on the local Bayou News and see some hillbilly go, I done saw me a dead person walking in the woods.
And I shot him.
I took my double barrel and I shot it and wouldn't go down. It scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh, that was Larry. Ooh.
Oh no.
I'll just pretend I didn't see that program.
That's perfect.
You weren't taught this magic. You were just born with it. You had the Maybelline moment, like the sorcerer, and you were able to perform necromancy.
You were able to perform it. in my human life, I had this ability. I was confused by it, didn't really enjoy it. And then of course being in the South and anything spooky or weird, you kind of get persecuted for. I unfortunately met my demise, my early demise, and but the powers kept through with me.
Okay. So, in that regard, do you remember most of your, well, pre-death life, or has that been kind of lost to you?
A lot of it's been lost. I do remember faces though. That is really about it.
Okay. Anybody that you want to take revenge against? Were you a tormented soul in that regard?
No, you so when you pass on, you tend to just kind of you just tend to kind of forgive and forget whether you like it or not.
Okay. Okay. And how did it feel? Were you just like plucked, like were you plucked back into your body, re-sewn in? Were you just kind of asleep and then you woke up?
It feels more like being asleep and then you just randomly wake up. The only problem is my skin's now green. Oh joy.
Awesome. No amount of foundation is going to help this.
Not whatsoever. You just kind of you see green, you just kind of live with it.
Okay. And with your powers and abilities, how many are you able to like revive or I suppose in this case bring power to in terms of your inanimate objects? Like how many can you hold at one time?
Like how many can I revive at one time?
Yes.
You know, as many as about 10 at one time, and then you just kind of get drained.
Okay.
So about 10 is the
Yeah,
magic number there.
and then you hit number 11, you're like, "Oh shit, I forgot."
Like shit, this has a battery.
And then the first guy like kind of just collapses again and he's not able to finish his thing and it's all out of whack.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as that, you've been revived. Is it still a taboo where you're from to perform necromancy?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why you do it in secret. That's why you live in, like me, that's why you live in a dilapidated abandoned house with your giant rat.
Oh, okay.
With your giant rat that you have lovingly named and made your pet essentially. There is a little graveyard in the backyard. I essentially took my lantern head friend here. I essentially took over his house.
Ah, I see. I see.
And
And
and now it's mine.
it is for that reason we will not be posting this episode of Poison Points to anybody in any of the southern states. Sorry about that. It'll be region locked. So
Sorry, Louisiana. Don't know what to tell you.
and you've mentioned this before, but in terms of how you help people, do people come to you? Do they have requests, or do you just happen upon the ghosts and then find their body and reconnect them with that body?
Well, given the place that I am originally from, the most haunted state in the United States, you just happen to find ghosts. It's like swinging a rock in the woods. Eventually, you're going to hit a tree.
Okay.
You tend to find these spirits who are still looking for their purpose in their human life, despite the fact that you can't do these things anymore. So you do your best to try and help them move on so that they aren't tortured anymore. I'm a
Hmm.
very empath and undead here.
Valid. That's valid. And also, can I?
Trust me, the humans are too scared to walk in front of me. Trust me, they're too scared to approach me.
Mhm. And I just gotta say that I love you're one of the few people that I've had on ever that is just, yeah, my lore is that I'm from America, and this is normal.
This is totally normal. It's we'll just wait for the anime reboot. You just You just see me running down the streets of Kyoto, and I have a sandwich in my mouth, and like, hi, I'm Creepsheaux. I'm gonna be the #1 duelist in America. Cue the like 2.5 minute long intro.
Mm-hmm. And it has nothing to do with the context, but like the lyrics are somewhat the like drawing in point of that song. So
Oh yeah, it sounds very cheery and very like, oh man, this is a bop. But you look at the lyrics, that's like, wow, this is depressing.
see what I'm thinking of is like the Red Dead Redemption like renamed states. So Saint Denis for the city, and it's like not a real place, but it's like based off of a real place.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. And with all that being said, they say never ask a girl her age, but how old are you?
28.
28. So you died some time ago, and then you were revived, and you're still going.
Of course.
Perfect.
Listen, I'm drop dead gorgeous, okay?
Oh yes, and you'll learn power word kill someday. So
Perfect.
it's a must have. It's a must have.
I do age faster though, given that I'm dead.
Hmm.
I age faster.
Is there any upkeep that you need magically to maintain your form?
Not really, no. You just tend to have this until you're fully dead.
Okay. And would you say that your like life expectancy is like that of a normal human being now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say I probably got about a good 60 years left to go.
Maybe 70.
Probably.
No longer than that though. 100s is hell.
No more. I don't need to be given free shit for living an entire century. I think I'm good.
Perfect. Well, to break up this segment, I have a new segment. Oh, well, it's not new at this point. Everybody knows what it is. It is the hypothetical theoretical. This
Oh boy.
question is a bullshit question, to be sure, and it deserves a bullshit answer because, well, how are you going to answer these questions flawlessly every single time? However, this question comes from the community Discord at the Silly Pad.
Okay.
If you could sit down with all of your besties and make them watch the entirety of one movie or the entirety of a show, what would that product be?
Are these friends I love or friends I don't care for?
Friends you love.
Oh god. Okay, it's either Gravity Falls or it's oh goodness, you it's either Gravity Falls or Beavis and Butthead, honestly.
Really? Okay.
So Gravity Falls is one of my favorite series of all time, and Beavis and Butthead I've just been binging lately.
Does your answer change if it's with people you don't really care for?
I'll make you watch The Simpsons.
All of it. Every single season.
Every single season, including the season that's going on right now. And here's the thing. I love The Simpsons. It's probably my favorite show I've ever watched.
Mhm.
It's too long. It should have ended 20 years ago.
Yeah, to me it's like the Dragon Ball of the American cartoon worlds.
It's like it should have ended 20 years ago. Stop.
Even the author was like, "Can we please just end it here? No, one more, okay. Oh, one more, okay."
Yes, honey.
Cue to that, the father from Coraline at the computer, completely baggy eyed. Just,
Yeah.
are you still working on the next season?
just yes, please free me.
Would you make them watch it from a torturing perspective, like because it's so long, or would you much rather it just be like, hey, this is a casual experience?
So casual experience, because I hear watch it from a torture standpoint, I just think of the Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
Just eyes peeled back and you're forced to watch everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, it'd be more of a casual thing. Like, come on, you're gonna enjoy it. It'll be fun. We'll be here for 2 months.
Yep. Straight. every day.
Simpsons all day, every day.
hmm there was a moment a couple months ago where they just dropped the whole first season of Family Guy on Twitter, so you could watch it. And I was like, I don't really have anything good to do right now. I'll just watch a couple episodes. And I was actually impressed, surprisingly. Like,
The Sorry,
it,
go ahead.
it was funny. Like, I don't know, modern humor of Family Guy doesn't really appeal to me, but I was watching that. I was like, some of these jokes are landing with me. I'm getting a chuckle out of some of them. So,
The first like 4 to 5 seasons of Family Guy are gold, and then everything else it's like, whatever.
yeah, there's a lot
And
of death jokes and all that stuff.
yeah, the most recent one, I kind of get a vibe of like Seth MacFarlane is just like, please let me be done. I will almost do anything to get the show canceled just to be done.
Yeah.
Please let me work on Ted 3.
That's where I want to be right now. I want to be that bear.
I just want to work on Ted. Please. The audience wants another Thunder Buddy song, please.
Okay. So it would be Gravity Falls, brain not working all of a sudden,
Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead, and The Simpsons. Okay. Because Beavis is not on my list of things to watch, so I was like, oh.
If okay, so like if you ever want to like, oh god, I it's almost better when you're sick. But because it feels like one of those shows when you were sick and it would just be on at like 2 in the afternoon for some reason.
hmm
With also an honorable mention to Steven Universe. I love Steven Universe.
See, I've also not seen that all the way through. I've seen like
That's
part
shocking.
a part of the first season, and then I saw one movie, which was the one with Spinell, and that was practically it.
You have always given me the vibe that you are like a mega fan of that show.
It's funny, and I get shit from Pinch all the time for this.
Uh-huh.
I'm just not an American cartoon watcher. Like, there's something about that style and the way that they deliver their messages that I've never been a big fan of.
Yeah.
Not saying that I wouldn't watch it, but like you got to sit me down to do it. I'm not going to go be like, oh yes, I will set aside a portion of my day to watch this, whatever it is. I have a few exceptions. Like I really want to watch all of Samurai Jack from Cartoon Network into Adult Swim era.
Oh god,
Um,
I tried Samurai Jack. I could not get into it.
Really, now that is surprising for me. Like from a
Really?
completely opposite perspective, I just feel like you would enjoy the world building.
I tried getting into There's a lot of Adult Swim shows where I thought I would really be into it. Could not
hmm
care. Could not care. Another big one because I really like the classic Adult Swim shows. I do not care for Venture Brothers.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet either, but Buffy wants me to watch it really bad.
I mean, like, I love things like Metalocalypse and Moral Oral and like the first couple of seasons of Robot Chicken and Aqua Teen. And then after that, it's like, we'll see.
hmm I did watch Over the Garden Wall with Pinch, and
Oh, okay.
I was pleasantly surprised. It was a good like modernish take on cartoons, and I was like, okay, this one's got a plus. It's got great humor, great art, and everything that I want in a pacing of a show. I think my issue with a lot of the newer stuff from adult to more of that young adult theme is that the pacing is weird and wrong.
Yeah.
Um, just can't get into it. Again, not
I
saying that I wouldn't not enjoy it, but I need somebody to sit down with and like maybe explain something to me and like we'll talk through this. There's some discussion.
like you got to be with somebody to enjoy that and just kind of kind of sit with them and go, what the fuck is going on?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but for some reason on the other end of the spectrum, when it comes to like anime, yes, I'm a weeb, I get it. Uh I will watch shows that make zero sense, like Serial Experiments Lane. and be excited to explain all details of it to my friends when they watch it and be like, ah, yes, did you catch this? And what about that?
Oh God. So you said how you're not like the biggest Western animation enjoyer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not the biggest anime enjoyer, but there are anime I really do enjoy. With anime, you've got to hook me. You've really got to hook me, otherwise I'm gonna lose interest real fast.
Oh, yeah. I'm the type of person who will, like, be like, I'll watch the entirety of the show and I'll be like, hold on, it gets good, I promise. And then that getting good is like at the very end. And it does
I'm
pay off, but like you're sitting there looking at me with your hands on your hips, you're like side-eyeing me the entire time.
Trust me, it gets really good. 20 episodes of Dragon Ball filler later.
Well, okay. I will argue with that because the Kai version, so Dragon Ball Z Kai, which
Uh-huh.
removes a bunch of the filler, was surprisingly good. I didn't think that I would like it, and that was one of the few anime that I'm like, I need someone to sit with to actually enjoy it, and I did. And holy shit, I love it. I love Goku.
Love Goku from Fortnite. God, I really like I like Death Note. I like Inuyasha. Um oh God, why is that? I can picture it in my head and it's just escaping me. Nana, there we go.
Ah, yes.
Nana. I like those like slice of life kind of reality, somewhat based animes.
Hmm.
And then the other spectrum is like something that's just completely out there, has something to do with like a demon or something.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever seen Lane?
Lane?
Serial Experiments Lane.
No.
I can't recommend it enough. It is one of the most weird animes I've ever had the pleasure of watching. And it is creepy in its own way, but it's not like in your face like terrifying. It's definitely psychological in a lot of ways.
I just Googled it. I would probably give this a shot.
Okay. It's 13 episodes, I believe, and it is one of those shows where about the halfway point you get some answers and then more questions get brought up, and then at the end you have to like really analyze all of it to get what its deeper meaning was. And I
Okay.
love it. I love it for that. In fact, a lot of my content, my outside of this with the horror and all that, I tend to follow that genre for what I do video wise.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. In all honesty, I got like I said with anime, you've got to hook me like in the first couple episodes. Otherwise, you just lose me.
Oh yeah, yeah. It might not be for you, and that's perfectly fine. I
Hmm.
encourage you to try to push past that, like if you don't get it or if it's not really for you, give it
Yeah.
like a couple more, but totally understand if it's not for you.
Hmm.
Um I'm actually I'm going off topic on my own show. God damn. Um we're watching
Isn't that great?
we're watching Steins Gate. And Steins
Okay.
Gate is a classic. It's like up there with one of the like if somebody's gonna recommend something to you, it's like the big three, and then there's Steins Gate, one of the highest rated My Anime List animes that there ever was. Um it is not one of those ones that you will be hooked in the first three episodes. It's the fourth episode that will like really get everything together and you're now invested. It's a
What was?
very
Oh,
hmm?
I was about to say there is an anime I was watching recently. I pushed past the first couple episodes and I thought, man, this is actually really good. Res Zero.
Oh yeah, ReZero.
Re Zero is good.
Oh yeah,
I really enjoyed Re Zero.
oh yeah. It was one of those that I was not wanting to watch because of the community surrounding it, and they like
Oh
scared me
no.
away. Because I've been to cons where people were super weird,
Oh
and
no.
I was like, I don't know if I could get into this. And I watched it 3 episodes in. I'm like, what is the deal? And then the fourth episode was like, holy shit, okay, I get it. This is good.
Oh God, what was that show for me where like the community scared the shit out of me? But like goodness, not My Little Pony because I was kind of in that like right when it started. Yeah, shit. I don't have an answer for you on that one. I know there's an example for it. I can't remember it to save my life.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of classic ones. We've got like it doesn't even have to be the show. It could be Undertale. It could be the Vocaloid community. Anything revolving around like the I don't know. There's so many examples. Berserk. God,
Oh
that one's
God.
wild.
One
But
of my friends offline is really big into Berserk, and I I saw it once. I saw the manga once at a Barnes and Noble. Don't get your manga at Barnes and Noble. Um, and I thought, damn, okay, cool, go off, Queen.
I mean, it's one of those like really gross ones. It is
Yeah,
gritty and dark as hell, but I can appreciate that in its own way.
of course.
Might not be for me, but it is one of those ones where it did shape a lot of anime. It was the predecessor to some of the later stuff that we see. Not exactly the same, but yeah. God damn, holy shit. Okay, so I have my three big questions for you today, Creepshow.
Okay.
My first big question is, if you were a drink at the bar behind you, what drink would you be and what would you call yourself?
Well, I would probably. Oh goodness. So hear me out. Hear me out.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, that strawberry cream Dr Pepper
Okay.
And Malibu.
Strawberry cream, Dr. Pepper, and Malibu. Okay.
And Malibu. Um, I would probably call it Death on the Beach.
Okay, okay. I like it. I like the
I I,
references.
I like fruity drinks. I like really fruity drinks, but also you got to keep up the edgy look here.
I'm trying to envision it in my brain. Like I'm trying to put the flavor palette on my tongue.
Like it's like pineapple, Dr Pepper, and a little bit of strawberry.
Yeah. See, the reason why I like the strawberry Dr. Pepper is there is this like in between aftertaste.
Yeah.
There's just something about it that really punches the back of your throat and not your tongue. And that's what's
It
throwing
just
me
kind of hits you.
off. Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. The other would just straight up be a root beer float. Like if we're going non-alcoholic, it's root beer.
Okay. I could definitely get behind that one.
I love root beer and I love ice cream. Perfect.
The perfect combination.
It's too good. It's too good. Stop trying to one up it. Soda, big soda.
Well, I've tried different combinations, and I think Pepsi was the other one that like actually worked quite well. But if you want to be extra crazy, uh, Pepsi Cream Nitro, the Nitro
Ooh.
Pepsis is actually really good with the ice cream.
Oh, that's the Pepsi you gotta like open and pour like immediately.
Yeah, you smack it open, you pour it over a glass of ice, an ice cold glass actually. It needs to be refrigerated beforehand, and then it's flawless. I, on the other hand, just pop and immediately shotgun it.
I love them. I thought they were great. I brought a couple of them with me to a night where we were playing Magic, and my friends were like, "This is flat Pepsi. What is so good about this?"
I can't explain why I enjoy it, but I do.
It makes me feel fancy.
It's also like if you drink too many of them over the course of a certain amount of time, you get really sick.
Oh, nope.
Yeah.
That's why I can't have Hawaiian Punch anymore.
Oh, yeah. You need to pace
Yeah.
yourself with those because,
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
Okay. The next question is, if you could ask the next interviewee anything, what would you ask them?
Oh God. Milk first or cereal first?
Oh my god, I'm about to have an argument.
Let's go. Let's go.
See, I'm the neutral side, and of any cereal based argument, I'm neutral because I do not like cereal at all. Um,
Gasp.
so I like to be the in between. I could be the devil or the angel at the same time. A question for you in response to this: fork or spoon for eating your cereal?
Oh, spoon, easy. Fork is okay. So you can eat with a fork, but like it's like last resort if none of your spoons are clean.
Space Buffoon swears by the fork methodology because you take out the whatever it is, say your Cheerios, and you can eat
Yeah.
it flawlessly. There's no like soupy consistency. You get just the crunch, the soft crunch, and then you drink the milk afterwards.
Well, the first mistake was having Cheerios. The second here's the thing. I don't like milk in cereal all too often unless the cereal is chocolate.
Okay,
The
okay.
the the perfect method for that is you have milk in Cocoa Puffs. Because as soon as you're done with your Cocoa Puffs, it's chocolate milk and it's so good.
Yeah, I could see that. My only issue with cereal, and this is like me thinking about it for real, why I don't like it.
Uh-huh.
When you have milk that sits out for so long, it like changes. It doesn't taste the same like a fresh cup of milk from straight from the fridge, you know? And I think that's the part I dislike about the cereal combo with milk. Like I might like if I'm absolutely starving, snack on Cheerios or whatever other just
Mhm.
dry, but I can't do it with the milk.
Do you have a favorite cereal that's dry? Like you just eat it dry?
Not really. The closest I came was the what is it called? It's not Chips Ahoy, it's the other one with the wolf.
Oh, Cookie Crisp?
Yeah, Cookie Crisp. That was the most that I did.
God, Cookie Crisp. Okay, Cookie Crisp used to be like much better than it is now. I oh goodness, I would say if you want to eat a dry cereal, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, I could see that. It's basically just cinnamon wheat thins at that point, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That or you could do Reese's Puffs because it's
Yes.
just a dry Reese's cup.
Yeah, yeah. I could probably try it. It's just never been on my list. I don't know. It's just I don't know why I have such a bad taste in my mouth for cereal. It's just always been that way.
That's just with me and alcohol. Like I wouldn't mind having like a sip here or there. I can't drink on a constant basis. I can't.
Hmm. I will do like a once a month. That's my drinking. Like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, there's something that I like that looks cool. All right, that's my one for the month. I'm done, and then I don't think about it.
Christ, I'm like once a year.
Real.
I,
Just do
I
it.
I'm
Do it
like
on your birthday.
I do it like once a year. So the last job I had, we sold chocolate with Jack Daniels in it.
Ah, yep.
And I never had Jack Daniels before, and it's one of those chocolates you have to present an ID to even buy. So bought it, took it home, tried it, and my first initial thought was, "Oh my god, this smells like nail polish remover, and it burns like hell. Why?"
It's Jack Daniels. That's why.
It's so trash. It's so bad. Okay, I don't like to yuck anybody's yum. You do what you want to do. I have no problem questioning you like I'm a private investigator in a dark room with one light hanging from the ceiling and just aim the light at you. Why? Why you drink this shit?
You're gonna go away for a long time if you don't answer properly.
You're gonna go away for a long time. You can kiss bye bye to your future.
Okay, so milk first or cereal first? This one, I'm ready to have a full on debate. It'll just be me and them, and I will definitely fight with them as hard as I can.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, my last question for you today. This one will require a little bit of thinking. Just
Okay,
it might touch close to home. So let me know how you feel.
you got it.
You suddenly find yourself at a bus stop, and standing next to you is somebody that you recognize. It's a much younger version of you, but they don't recognize you. What do you say to them to help them along life, but not revealing who you are to them?
Oh God. What do I say to them that helps them throughout their life without revealing that I am just an older version of them? Oh God. I think it just boils down to 3 letters. Let it go. Um, because oh good, because growing up I was a very unhappy, angry person, and I held a lot of grudges. And I think what held me back from a lot of things was holding all that like negative feeling and anger in. And I think learning to just let it go and learning to be able to look, you're going to only control what you're able to control, and that's okay. I think that was huge for me at a very particular point in time. Just like let it go. It's not it's not worth just being angry and this negative person all the time. Just let it go. Just let it go. It's gonna be okay.
Okay. And you step onto the bus or wherever you need to be, and you're gone. I, th-
Goodbye.
this is one of those questions that I like to ask because one, I gotta ask something slightly uncomfortable,
Uh
and
huh.
two, it's interesting to think like you know that you can't change it because it's already happened and you've experienced it, but I love to learn what people would change if they could.
Yeah, like I said, I think it would just be like just settle down. It's not it it, it it's going to be a miserable existence if you're just constantly angry at life all the time.
Whoa, girl. Yeah. Exactly.
Whoa, we getting a little controversial on poison points today.
Well, Creepshow, I believe that's my like one stutter. Uh, I believe that brings us to the end of the interview for you today. Is there anything else that you would like to ask?
Not really. God, I think practically spilled my guts. Haha. I think I practically spilled my guts, and I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. Like I said at the very beginning of all this, this was always a goal for me. Ever since I figured out what this was, and I am thankful for your friendship. I am thankful for the time that you have given me, and it's been just wonderful. Thank you so very much.
Of course. And before we head on out, could you give us one final plug to your channel?
One final plug. Well, if you would like, my name is Creepshow, Creepsheaux. I am on Twitter. I am also on Twitch. I will very soon be putting stuff on YouTube as well. I am a pretty much do whatever the hell I feel like streamer, and that is a lot of what we do. We just hang out mostly at night. Sometimes I'll do stuff like late in the evening, and that's really about it. If you like retro games and if you like shooters, I got you.
Hell yeah. Lots of TF2, lots of Overwatch, and lots of Fortnite.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I uninstalled TF2 about a month ago.
Oh, oh
Eh,
seven.
It, it's it's gotten to a point where it's almost unplayable.
Real. Yeah, walk into a lobby, you get sniped, and you leave the lobby, go to the next, you get sniped by bots, I should say.
Oh boy, yeah. And I have said this multiple times. TF2 would be the greatest shooter out right now if Valve gave a shit. If Valve
Oh
gave a
yeah.
shit, it would be the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Perfect. And before we, close the curtains and say goodbye to everybody, do you have any final words of wisdom that you could part with our guests or audience today? You're our guest.
Oh, they're also our guests as well. Anywho, a bit of advice I would give: just be true to yourself. Seek out what makes you ultimately happy. Let it go. And remember that you can only control what you can control, and be the best version of you that you can possibly can be. That be the best version of you that you can possibly be, because there are people that are going to be so happy at the end of that journey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could have said it better myself. And with that, we will bid you all adieu.
Bye-bye. Also, wash your hands, please. I am fucking begging you.
Warm water, a hot water actually, and plenty of soap.
Please, I'm begging you. I hate being sick.
And with that, as always, we will see you next time. Take care now.